what I do. I just look at women. I just, like they're, cakes and windows. I just, I was walking in New York once, and there's these two very cute women walking behind me, and I was trying to walk slowly so I could hear what they were saying to each other, because they were cute. So I wanted to hear them, like that's going to help me in any way to hear them. Don't you wish the guy walking in front of us would squeeze our tits for like 1 second? Okay. Really? It's really a flaw in men that we would all do that. If you're a woman, you could ask any guy on planet Earth, can you squeeze my tit for 1 second? And 100% of us will go, oh yes, of course. That doesn't matter. I could be doing open heart surgery. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, don't worry, he's not your tits, don't worry about it. I don't know why we love tits so much. Some people say it's because we breastfeed, but so do women. Or, baby women. Not grown-up women don't usually. You don't see like a 68-year-old woman, like a stately look, like Sigourney Weaver, like sucking milk out of a young woman's tit. Thank you, Deborah. I'll see you tomorrow, 2:00. It's not usually the thing, is the elderly breastfeeding from the young. Except for at the end of The Grapes of Wrath, which I don't mean to ruin that book for you, but you should have read it by now. I don't know if you read The Grapes of Wrath, but that's how it ends, with an old dying man sucking milk out of a young girl's tit. And then the book is over. And you're like, Jesus, what happened at the end there? That's crazy. There's no other book in that genre. There's no dense, historic classic that ends with a weird, porny paragraph at the very... And then Anna Karenina shat on his chest. Holy moly with that!
Yeah, thank you. How are you doing, all right? Good. All right. Nice to be here. My name is Louis. I live in New York. I like New York because this is the only city where you actually have to say things like, hey, that's mine, don't pee on that. Yeah. Summer's almost over and I'm happy because I have red hair, so I don't really tan. I just kind of burst into flames. Burst into flames. All right, good. No, I don't care for summer, because people are active in the summer, and I really find that annoying. All the fucking rollerblading and everything, so... Because I sit on the couch. I like to be... And being on the couch is good all year, The summer and the winter, it's good in times of war and peace. Just be on the couch. My girlfriend hates this. I live with my girlfriend. She came home the other day, and she's like, hey, I told you to do the laundry. Why didn't you do the laundry? And I was like, oh, do the laundry? I thought you said watch TV. Anyway. You ever do this? When you tell somebody a story, then a week later, you tell them the same story again because you forgot? And by this time, you've added a bunch of lies to it, and you've embellished it. I'm a big liar. The other day, I was telling the guy a funny story about something that happened to me, and it was true, but it didn't really happen to me. It happened to somebody else, and I heard about it, so I was just lying and saying it happened to me. I don't know why. And all of a sudden I realized that I was talking to the guy that it happened to. And he's like, that wasn't you, that was me. What the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, oh, no, I think that was me. No, that was me. That's the best thing to do. If you really get caught in a lie, just fucking hang in there anyway. You're a liar! And then just stop being friends with the guy right there. Don't call him, just... This is interesting. So, you know when you get in an elevator and you go to press your floor button and it's already been pressed, it's all lit up, and everybody in there saw you starting to press it, and then you don't want to press it, and then you make that thing where you don't actually make words in public. You get on, you're like, hi. People in New York are so weird. You can't even touch people. Like, I was in a bus stop, and I was standing there, and I didn't bump into the guy. I just touched him like that. Just that much. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, he's going to go, you fucking touched me. Ah! Anyway, the other day I was walking down the street, and I saw this friend of mine, and he was waving to me from across the street, and I wanted to wave back, but I was eating a peach, so I waved the peach at him. I felt weird. I felt like I was going, look, I have a peach. Look what a fine peach I have. I am very fruitful indeed. Saw this guy on a bicycle. He was on a bike, and he was about to go between a parked car and a cab. He only had like this much room. And I was watching him. I could also see the woman in the cab was about to open the door, and he was going to get nailed. And I wanted to yell something to warn him, but it was happening so fast that I couldn't think of anything short enough to yell that would have all the information that he needed. I couldn't go like, hey, she's going to open the door of the cabin, you're going to get hit on the bike and go flying and get hurt. I didn't have time for all that. So I just yelled out, bad thing! Wasn't really specific enough. Because he's dead. You know what's really embarrassing? When you run into somebody that you know and you can't remember their name. That's a low grade of it. Because when you don't know their name, you can bullshit around. Because, like, you throw things, you show off about all the other shit. Hey, how's it going at the ice cream place that you work? And how's Bill? I know you know Bill. But you don't know their name. But what's even worse is when you don't even know where you know them from. You can't remember what their name is, who they are, why you know them, and here they come, and you're going, ah, shit, you fucking guy, I don't know who he is. So you go up, and then you have nowhere to go. It's like, hey there, how's the place? You know what I do? Just go completely off the deep end. Instead of bullshitting the guy, just completely go wrong. Just go, hey, Flippity, how you doing there? You still at the clam plants chance? Yeah, that's pretty good. Because then at least he thinks you're crazy instead of stupid. That's the point of it. I think it's always better for people to think you're crazy than stupid. I think you should always, like say you're in a restaurant, you're looking for the bathroom, and you walk into the kitchen by mistake. And they know why you're in there. Look at this idiot. Then you just go... Come on. And they'll let you pee in there. That's my point. Okay. I know a little sign language. I know one sentence in sign language. Can I show it to you? It's the only one that I know. Okay, this is the one sentence I know in sign language. It goes like this. Which I believe means, I like to do this. I can't believe I actually had one joke that was appropriate to the occasion here. Okay, back to my shitty act. Here's something interesting, sort of. I met this woman the other night, and she had a pierced tongue. She had a metal ball right there in the center of her tongue. And I asked her, what's that for? And she said, it's to enhance oral sex. I thought that was really stupid, personally, because I never really felt like oral sex needed any enhancement. I think it's pretty good the way it is, I can't remember any time that I've been getting blown that I've actually thought, this is really boring. Is that the whole thing, really? You're just gonna suck it? That's it? That's all? Come on, put a metal ball in there or something. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you having trouble with that one? No, you doing all right? Okay. How did you do blowjob? I want to know how you... There you go. Good. Good. That's the international symbol. Blowjob, 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 blowjob. Okay. Oh, boy. All right. I'm getting all sorts of laughs. I don't even know what's happening half the time here. So, I don't know. Sex is interesting. People get so upset about it. There's so many different kinds of sex that it's crazy. There's so many different magazines and stuff. Like, if you think you're a freak sexually, don't worry about it. Because they already got it figured out. Like, maybe you think you're the only one that likes to, dress like Hitler and have a nun throw Jell-O on your balls. Something like that, right? Then you find out there's a whole magazine just for that. This was weird. I was walking down the street and some guy told me I was wearing a faggy shirt. What the hell does that mean? Total stranger walks up to me on the street and he goes, "Hey, nice faggy shirt, you faggot! Faggot!" I remember the shirt I was wearing. It was pink, and it had a collar, and I had these little pictures of guys blowing each other on it, you know, like sort of a... Alrighty. You took the job. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, people have weird attitudes about homosexuality, you know? People that don't know anything about it usually do. I was talking to a friend of mine about this other guy, and I asked him, "Is he gay?" My friend said, "Yeah, he's really gay." What the hell does that mean? How do you get to be really gay? Are there many levels? Is it like... Can you be just a little bit gay? Like, I just feel a little bit gay today. I just feel like touching a penis like this. Just a little, just touching, just a little touch there. Just, boop, boop. No, the penis is over here. It's over here. Touch, there you go. There you go. All right. Gotta touch the right pantomime penis. All right. And then one day, like what happens? One day you're taking it up the ass, you're jerking off two guys, you're blowing somebody all at the same time. There you go, you got it. And you say to yourself, "Wow, I'm really gay. I am very homosexual. Look at all these penises. I'm the gayest man in the world. I am faggotor. No one is gayer than me. Come on!" Okay. Anyway. Let me try to back off a little bit here. I saw this guy today. This is weird. You ever see somebody that you don't know again? You know what I'm talking about? Like a total stranger, but he keeps popping up once in a while. Like God is running out of extras in a movie of your life or something. Sometimes I hate strangers. I was in a movie theater. I'm the only person in the whole theater. It was really weird. Nobody went to see this movie but me, so I'm sitting in there. And then right before the movie started, another guy walks in, and he sat right behind me. You know, what the fuck? And it wouldn't have bothered me, except for as soon as the movie started, he starts poking me like this, like right in the back of the head, really hard, just poking me. So I ignored him for like an hour. And, all right, never mind. I was doing pretty good for a little while. No, none of that. So, here's an interesting story. I was driving a friend's car. I borrowed a car for a week. I went out to Los Angeles, so I had to borrow my friend's car. And so I'm driving it, and the problem with the car was the horn was broken. Now, it wasn't that the horn didn't honk. I wouldn't have a problem with that. It was that the horn honked, just fucking like whenever. This horn would just go off. Just in the middle of nothing, I just beep, beep, beep. I'm honking at everybody. And people hated me. And there's nothing I could do about it. And there's no way to explain it either, because people look after you honk, and they just see you going, "I don't know, it's not me." And what the fuck does that mean? Somebody honks at you and then they go, hey, man, this is not me. So finally I decided there's nothing I can do about this horn, so I might as well at least go with it. At least try to be part of it and enjoy it, you know? So like I'm sitting at a red light, nothing's going on. I'm behind some poor guy, and out of nowhere, beep, 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 beep. He looks at me and I'm like, what are you doing? Sit at the fucking light! That's a red light! Just driving down a lonely street, beep, beep, hey lady, walking! You suck! Fucking walking lady! I found myself in a lot of embarrassing situations recently. Like, the other day I went to buy groceries and I forgot to have money. Have you ever done that? I wasn't short. I had no money on me. Nothing. And I didn't realize it until the poor guy had bagged all my stuff and everything. And he says, $85? And I said, I don't have any money. And he's like, what, you don't have enough money? No, I don't have any money. The worst thing is I didn't know how to leave, you know? It's like, well, see you later. I had fun picking this stuff out anyway. Okay, back to the dirty shit. That seems to be the only thing that really works. I called phone sex the other day. I don't know, maybe not. Some people here don't get into that. But phone sex is kind of depressing. Because you see these ads on television, 19-year-old girls going, call me, call me. You know, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll call you, you know, so I call. I never end up getting the 19, I end up getting some 55-year-old woman named Blanche. You know, she's like, I'm gonna take your trousers off very slowly. Then I'm gonna play with your balls. That's a nice one. That's a very good one. I'm gonna play with your balls. Sounds like a threat, you know? Okay, that sort of gets lost in the translation there. It's way too long. All right. But anyway, let me tell you this quick story before I go. I met this woman, and she was very nice. We ended up sleeping together, and well, I fucked her, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, we're having sex. She turned out to be a nymphomaniac, and I know that most guys think that that's what they want, but then you find out that it's kind of a nightmare, you know, because this is a woman who wanted to just keep going and going and going and going and going, and so do guys, but we can't, you know, because you're like, yeah, this is great, wow, this is okay, all right, shit, hey, can we stop for a second? And she was like crazy too. She's like pulling me in and going, come on, fuck me, yeah, come on. And I was like, I think I am. I don't even know anymore, you know? So anyway, finally we're doing it from behind, which was good for me because I couldn't hide the pain in my face anymore, you know? And then she starts really getting into it and she starts like backing into me really hard. She's going like, bam, bam, bam. And it really fucking hurt a lot. So I had to say something to her, you know? So I said, hey, take it easy. Which is the most polite thing I could think of, you know? I didn't want to say, hey, don't back your snatch into me so hard. You're gonna rip my dick off, you fucking lunatic. I thought that might hurt her feelings. Well, you people really have been a wonderful audience. Seriously, thank you very much. Good night.
And also, you gotta die to go to hell, and I don't want to die. I like my life. I'm very happy. I'm married, and I love my wife. I love her very much. My wife hates me. She fucking hates me. She hates me so much. Like, that's what she does. Like, if you ask her, what'd you do today? I fucking hate that guy. That's what I did today. I hate Louis. She's so mad at me all the time. Here's the latest thing. The other day, she got really mad. She said to me, you know what you did? You filled the dishwasher with dishes, you put the soap in, and you didn't turn it on. And I'm like, oh, shit. What are we gonna do now? But here's the part where she blows my mind. This is amazing when she gets to this level. She says, well, why didn't you turn it on? Like I have a reason for not turning it on. And I'm like, can't I just be stupid? Can't it just be that I'm a fucking idiot? That I filled the dishwasher and then I went, "Duh," and I walked away? I can live with that. I'm cool with that. But she says, no, why'd you do it? Which means I decided not to do it. Do you know how much more of an asshole that makes me? That means I filled the dishwasher and then I went, you know what? Fuck her, I ain't turning it on. She can suck my dick if she thinks I'm pressing that on button. I'll fill it, but I don't fucking press on, not in my own house. Why would I do that? That would be crazy. The thing that she's usually mad about is simple. She says that I don't listen to her when she's talking. And I don't. But it's not because I don't love her, blah, blah, blah. It's because I try to listen. I really do. When she talks, I just stare at her face. I'm like, come on, bring the story. But somehow I'm like, what the I can't do it. I tried. Because every story gets divided into 50 stories that all branch out into these crazy, and I'm like, holy shit. I've got ADD, I can't do it. I'm like, fucking please. But I try every time I try because I love this retarded woman, so I try really hard to listen to her stories. Other people don't even try. We go to parties, she starts talking, people just walk away like, fuck this, that lady's crazy. Who would waste time listening to that crap? Me! She can't help it. I really feel bad for her because the thing is that every word of the story gets her so excited that she wants to fucking run with it and she can't fucking just break through and get to the end or even the beginning. This is my wife telling a story. She's like, guess what happened to my mom today? You remember I told you my mom how when she was in college, not when she went to Michigan, when she transferred. Remember because that guy got weird and she had to leave because he was, not the Iranian guy, that was a different story. That guy, I think he was Persian. I heard that Persia actually split. What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ! Pick a thing! Have some consideration for the fucking listener. I don't do that. Here's me telling a story. I bought a tomato and I ate it and it was good. That's a story anyone can follow. It's about a tomato the whole time. I like being married though, I do. I really like it. I seriously do. We were having sex, my wife and I, a couple of weeks ago, which is amazing that we did that because we never have sex. Never. Because we have a baby, and our baby's a fucking asshole and won't let us have sex. No, fuck, that kid's a jerk, man. Seriously. Every time she's got some urgent shit in her room. Papa, come in here. I'm in now. Okay, I go in there. What's up? I need a pair of pants to put on my pony. Wow, holy shit. I'm trying to fuck your mom in there. Would you give me a break? Can a guy fuck your mom for a minute? There is no sex, man. I had no idea that marriage just means no sex. No, none, fucking none. I have friends that are thinking of getting married and they say funny shit like, hey, you know, I don't know if I could do it because I don't know if I could have sex with one woman for the rest of my life. I'm like, don't worry about that shit. You're gonna have sex with 0 women for the rest of your life. That's a lot less than one woman. Who the fuck do you think you are? Where'd you get that fantasy? I'd love to have sex with one woman for the rest of my life. Any one woman. Big, fat, dead lady with a beard, I'd fuck her every day. I'd be proud to have her.
I don't know. I always seem to get in trouble with people. I don't know what happens to me. I was in traffic once, and a guy behind me lost his mind. That ever happen to you? The guy behind you in traffic just decides that you're the problem. It's you. I don't know what happened. I'm sitting in this car, and there's 50 cars ahead of me before any light. And the guy behind me just starts beep, 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 beep. I look at him, and he's honking just at me. He's amazed that I'm not going. He's going, go! Jesus! Beep, just go! Screaming out his window at me. Like I'm driving all 50 cars there, you know? I'm pushing them like shopping carts in a parking lot. What does he think?
He keeps yelling, go! And I'm trying to do that thing. What? I can't. What do you want? What do you want? Why are you... But it just made him madder. He was like, purple and crazy. And I'm laughing at him, till he gets out of his car. He's one of these guys, gets out of his car, comes up to my car, starts screaming at me, move it! Move it! And what am I gonna say back? What's gonna be my argument that's gonna make him see clearly, Well, I can't because of all the cars. I'm not able to get through the cars because they're solid. They're made of solid material. You know what I mean? And he's gonna go, oh yeah, I know. Oh no, I didn't know they were solid. That's right. Yeah, you can't drive through the cars. I'll just go back to my car and wait. I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen. But he kept yelling at me, so I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna argue with this guy. I'll argue with him, but I'm gonna argue about something else. I'm not gonna have his argument. I'm gonna have mine. So he goes, move it! And I go, well, give me back my jacket! And he stopped. And I was like, yeah, you got my jacket! Give it back! Now! I want it! He got scared. Got back in his car and he locked his doors, so, that's what I do from now on. I was talking to my, this guy Jerry that I know, and he's one of these guys, those people who, they sound like they're happy for you, but they sound like they're in pain also. People that talk like that. He's like, hey, what's going on? And I go, well, my sister is getting married. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's terrific. Yeah, and I think we're going to have a baby. Oh, my God. Ah! Ah! God bless you!
That was a lot of clips. That was a lot.
Well, that's all we have time for.
Yeah, that was a lot.
No, seriously, I was thinking this before, but I've seen those clips several times, and honestly, those are just a couple of the best scenes I've seen of anything this season.
It's weird seeing them all strung together like that. It's a little. There's something wrong with me, I think. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, the thing I was struck by just watching it now, I've watched them a bunch of times, but particularly the scenes from Bully and God, those kind of played differently in a big room than I'd seen them before.
Yeah.
And there were laughs where I wouldn't think there would be laughs, but then it sort of makes sense because there's tension and it's building the tension. And the whole thing kind of made me think, do you think of the show as a comedy or a drama or a comedy with part drama or a...
Well, it's a comedy, and I feel sometimes a little irresponsible when I'm that unfunny. But I also, to me, that stuff is really funny. It's not funny that you laugh like in the earlier clips. And it is interesting to watch with the audience, because I've watched some pieces of the show with audiences, like when we premiered, we had a party and stuff and people came. So I watched people laugh, but watching people watch the bully scene is really intense with an audience because it's so humiliating. And also, even though I shot it and deliberately made myself go through that, it's painful to watch me. I mean, the kid's half my size. I probably could have taken him. But I don't fight. I'm not that guy. So anyway, it was really interesting to watch with an audience. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's the show's, again, to me, it's really funny that a guy gets that debased and loses a woman over it. I think that's really funny. And I mean, I may be wrong, but it is just my sense of humor tells me that the funniest thing that we did all season was that dude nailing the Jesus back up. Because he just had to, it's got to be done. Poor Jesus is like, I had 10 minutes off of there, and I got to go back up. I have a lot of sympathy for Jesus that I don't feel like the church had. That's why. It's just so mean. And I feel like he did it the same way the Romans did. And it's just funny that a priest would tell him, get him back up there. All right, I'll do it. So that's funny to me. And, it's not laugh funny the way that earlier stuff is, but it makes me laugh.
But it's funny when you sit down and you watch them, there's kind of thematic similarities between some of the really ha funny stuff and in the first, the Dr. Ben clip.
Yeah.
You show your naked ass
Sure,
while a man makes fun of your penis, and in Bully, you obviously you've got the character being what's more difficult, what's harder to watch, what's harder to do.
Yeah, it's definitely all this stuff is pretty self mutilating, and that's why it was a funny package to watch.
Yeah,
for me. And then having Amy Landecker, who I'm trying to fuck in one scene, and then she's my mom in the next scene. Which is, something I did consciously, but I didn't expect to ever see them back to back like that. But one reason I did it is because at the end, she auditioned for the mom part before I even wrote Bully. I kind of wrote Bully like in an hour, and then I threw it into production, and I threw Mom aside and the God thing, and so then she did Bully and she nailed it, and then I started watching God auditions. I didn't even watch them, and I watched her do that, and at the end of the audition, she says, "You want to get some donuts?" And it was eerie because the whole donut thing in the Bully scene. And so I said, fuck it, I'm going to give her the part. But I never thought I'd watch. That's weird. A little upsetting. Anyway.
Well, when I was thinking about what I was going to ask you about the show, I was working out questions in my mind, and I realized that I didn't even know how to phrase stuff because it would be. So in that scene where you such and such, or do I say you? Do I say Louis? Like, what do you think? How do you think of that character?
It's me. None of these things have ever happened to me. I never broke into a church and dragged Jesus off the cross and caressed him lovingly. That never happened. But I was scared to shit by the Catholic Church. When I was a kid, and they taught you about Jesus, they taught you those details. They made it as gruesome as they could, because that was the idea, was to impart the passion. That's the whole point of it. You tell kids every detail of it is remembered. It's a story. When you think about it, it's such an old story, but they tell you every detail. They tell you the amount of times that each thing was done to them and everything. So,
and that you did it.
What's that? Yeah, and then it was your fault. Yeah. It's not that simple, but they actually do tell it that simply to children, and that's when the shit goes in. They don't tell you. It's not like, when they teach American history and they tell you Columbus discovered America, and then they start telling you, well, he didn't really. It's already, there were Vikings already, and well, why'd you ever teach me that? Just because it's easier to say that, and then we tell you this part. But with Jesus, they just tell you, you're bad, and he was sent here, and this is what happened, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's me up there, but it's autobiographical fiction, I call it sometimes, because it's the way I would act in those situations. But I'm being myself mostly, although I let myself make huge, terrible mistakes that I wouldn't make in real life. And I let myself have worse judgment than I have in real life, because it's more entertaining. And I'd rather take it on myself than to shine a light on other people who I think are bad. That's a boring thing to do. So I'd rather take on the bad behavior and show it that way.
Yeah. Another thing I think you get an accentuated sense of from those clips is a thing that you do in the show where it has these two kind of opposite hallmarks, which is there's this very verite, realistic way that the show is presented, and it's also there are elements of complete surreality. I'm just wondering, first, going back to the pilot, the helicopter at the end of the date. What does this bring to the? What is having these bizarre elements?
Yeah, that's a scene where I'm on a very relatably bad date with a girl. Everything's going wrong, and I'm in an ill fit to going out with a young woman. I'm not sure how I got the date to begin with, but then at the end, I make this terrible decision to try to kiss her after chewing her out. I get this weird signal in my head that, hey, she wants me, and I start leaning in to kiss her, and she's so reviled that she runs into an already waiting and running helicopter that takes her, away. I don't know, made sense to me. It did. It just felt right. It felt like something that ought to happen. And, I don't know. I have a lot of different reasons why I do things. I did when we were getting ready to do the pilot, I told Blair, my line producer, I wanted to get a helicopter in the show somewhere. And I was thinking helicopter. I had shot this HBO pilot, and she found a really cheap helicopter guy. They're usually really expensive. But she found a really cheap guy, and he liked us. He liked when we did HBO. He just enjoyed the time he spent with us. So I was writing that bit, and when I got to the end, I said, yeah, fuck it. She gets on a helicopter. And I love it. It feels right to me. When I'm watching the helicopter take off, that feels like the way I feel at the end of a lot of dates. And that's how bad it got. That it went to a place that can't possibly really happen. Yeah. That's the way it feels sometimes. So these are the kind of choices that I make that I know that some people would go, yeah, but she took me out of it. And then my answer to it is like, okay, well, if enough people say that, then I'll get canceled. So there's kind of a justice to it, Yeah. As long as people like it, some people won't. I get people email me angry things sometimes. That was bullshit, and they get mad. If that happens enough, I'll stop.
Yeah. Another thing you've mixed up in the show is that there are elements of the show that are serial or that recur in episode to episode, and on the other hand, you have two different moms and two different. I mean, not obviously just the actress because of the age difference, but in character,
totally
really
different mothers.
People. So do you think of every episode as just a short film entirely divorced from the others?
Yeah, I take it on as each episode has, even not only just each episode, but each piece inside of each episode has its own goal. And I don't know, I like to keep trying different things, and I think in terms of baseball and boxing a lot. And for baseball, to me, this is like, there was a pitcher for the Yankees once called Orlando Hernandez. They called him El Duque. And what made him so hard to hit was that he had many arm angles. Like sometimes the ball would come from here, sometimes from, you just didn't know what the hell. And I sometimes think of my relationship with the audience as an adversarial one. Like I want to keep them off their, I don't want them crowding the plate, You have a fastball, and those are jokes. But then you have weird sliders and breaking pitches that make people nuts. They don't know when they're going to see what. I like putting audiences in that place where they're not sure what the fuck you're doing. Because when you have them off balance, then you hit them with something simple and funny, then they go, oh my God, I can't believe I laughed. Because I was starting to go like, I'm not into this anymore. So, I don't know. So to me, having different mothers, I had some feelings about, I had the idea of a mother that's totally narcissistic. She's really more my dad than my real mother has never been like that. But I thought, what if I was visited by a mother who was that terrible? And I have a lot of people in my life that are that narcissistic. And so I meditated on that with that bit. But for this, to tell this story, I wanted to really show what my mom was really like. Because that's a conversation in the car is almost exact. My mother called me afterwards and said, Jesus, that was like you had a video camera in our car, in my Pinto, in the 70s. We really had that conversation. Not because I tore Jesus off the cross. Just because I caught her in not believing it. That's what happened in real life. I said, so when Jesus did this, and she was like, I don't know. I was like, wait a minute, do you believe in this? She's like, no. And then we had that conversation.
And the beauty moment is that then at the end the car doesn't start.
Yeah.
It seemed like something that had to come from life.
Well, no, that didn't really happen. That was because I didn't want to watch them get in, drive, and I thought, it just happened when I was shooting it. I was like, you know what, have the car not start. Let's do that. And I like that. And yes, people can think that it means there really is a God, and he's taken this little petty revenge Mom. Like, that's how God. I love that people think that God is that petty. That he's like, I mean, there couldn't be, if there is a Jesus, there couldn't be a worse thing a mother could do than to tell her son, you're off the hook, none of this happened, it's bullshit. And the idea that Jesus is watching, he's like, you know what, you're going to call AAA in a minute. You don't, hope you believe in AAA, bitch. But, yeah. What else is going on?
Can you talk about a little bit about the deal that you have to do the show? Because I understand it was kind of an unusual financial arrangement
with the FX. Yeah, it's. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody having the situation that I have right now. Part of it is because I'm working for cheap, but that's happened before. Basically, I went into doing the show with a lot of strength, negotiating wise, because I didn't care if I had the job or not. There's nothing more powerful than just saying no to people, you know? If you say to somebody, please give me this, I swear I can do it, and here's why, you're not going to go in well. But if you actually say, I don't want to do it. I was on the road doing stand-up, and I was making a lot of money and enjoying my shows. So I didn't want to go to Los Angeles. I live with my kids here in New York. And the most important part of my life is that I spend half of every week with my kids, and I don't have to work during that time. I'm a stay-at-home dad from Monday morning till about Wednesday, Thursday afternoon. And then I go on the road and do stand-up. It was perfect. And so I went out to LA and I did a theater show there, and a lot of people came and it did well. And then NBC and Fox and all these people started throwing offers to me to do a show, and they were a lot of money. And then I started to think, well, maybe I should do it for the money because I could stay home a little bit, and the show will never get on the air. There's no way I'm getting on the air at NBC. But it's crazy. They pay you to fail. They pay you a huge amount of money just to sit there and think of an idea, and then you tell them the idea, and they go, nah, keep the money though. It's a weird system. Makes no sense. Anyway, this could be too long an answer. Let me cut right to the chase. I went to FX. And they said, I didn't want to go to FX. My manager, Dave Becky, who's here somewhere, he's also an executive. But you can thank that guy who was raising his hand for the show even existing. Because he made a meeting for me and John, I'm hemming because I blanked on his name for a second. He's my patron saint now. I'm fucking Landgraf, and he made a meeting for us, and I canceled it. I called FX and said, I'm not going. I didn't feel like it. I don't like going to meetings. It's boring. So I canceled the meeting at FX. And he called me and said, "What? You can't cancel that." And I said, "They don't have any money. Why the fuck would I want to work there?" And he said, "Because this guy's really smart." And so I met John Landgraf, and he said, "We'd like to do a show with you, and we have a lot of freedom here, but we can only pay you $200,000 to do the pilot." And I was being offered like whatever, $300-400 just to personally have as money by the other networks. So I said, well, okay, you're giving me $200,000. What's the budget for the show? And he said, no, that's the whole show. It's what you get paid and what you spend on the show, $200,000. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And I told him I could do a sketch show for that. I could do a little sketch show. And he said, well, how about a sketch show about your life? And I was like, well, that's a dumb idea. And so I went home, and then he called me in my house. Landgraf did, and he said, look, I get it. I get what you're doing. You want to be Charlie Sheen. That's what you're headed. It's funny now because he's naked. Yelling nigger on the streets and all that stuff. But I don't know why that's just what alcohol does to famous people. But anyway, Charlie Sheen to me he was saying, you want to be a big star and on a big network, and I was getting sick as he was saying it, the idea of that. But he said, if you come in, I said, look, give me $200,000 and I'll do the show, but you can't, I'm not writing it and then sending you a script. You have to just give me the money and I'll send you a show, a DVD in like 3 months. That's it. No between anything. I'm not pitching. I'm not even telling you what the show's about, who's in it, how I'm doing it. You I didn't even want to have, because this is the way I figured was that I'm very lazy. I'm a lazy person. And unless I get excited about something, and I thought if I have $200,000 of FX's money in an account, then I'll write something. So he said, I have no problem with that. And so that's the way we did it. He literally wired me $200,000. And at one point, Dave, God bless him, and my agent were trying to get it up. They were like trying to get it to 3 or 4. And then Landgraf called me and said, do you understand that I can write you a check? I can send you $200,000 from my desk. But if it's more than that, I have to go ask Rupert Murdoch for the money. And then you're going to have to explain to somebody what the show's about. You have to at least tell me what it's about. And I said, okay, keep it at 200, and I won't tell you anything. So he sent me $200,000. And I called Blair and all the people that I worked with making films here in the city for years, and Paul Kessner, my great DP who can shoot for nothing. And we decided to shoot on the red and I started piecing the show together, not from what it even was about. I was like, I want to shoot a show that feels like short films, that's done with beautiful lenses, and that we shoot it, carefully, like an old film crew. I started thinking about the kind of people I would like to see in the show before I had written anything. And then I started piecing together little scripts, and I ran out and shot one thing and then stopped and then wrote more, and I just kind of created it I just took the money and just threw it at objects and people. And I shot way more than I needed. I shot something like 3 episodes worth of material and crunched it down to the pilot and gave it to them. And they had no idea what they were going to see. They just pressed play and they watched it. And that's a great trick, because usually they have to read the scripts, then they do rewrites, and they're sick of it. But they had no idea what the show was. And they watched it, and they said, yeah, let's keep doing it. And they gave me $300,000 for the series per episode. That's it. I mean, I get paid out of that. I get paid Writers Guild minimum for the script, DGA minimum for directing. And I pay myself very little as an editor. I just make the show. And when we started doing the series, John Landgraf said, what can you tell, you got to tell me something. And so I said, well, let's have a beer and let's talk about it. So we just sat, and I told him 3 ideas for the series, and I didn't do any of them. So I said, here's 3 ideas, I may or may not do them. And he said, sounds fine. And so that was it. Every week we would take the money and we'd make shows. And also I had the freedom to spend more on some shows than others. Some shows cost $500,000. Some shows cost $150,000. Depended on the subject matter. They didn't know who was in the show. I was more able to get interesting actors, people like Ricky, because they didn't know Ricky was on the show. They watch and they go, how the fuck did he get Ricky Gervais? They just watch it. That's Matthew Broderick? How the fuck? And they just, so, and that was, to me, it's much more fun to me. Doing the show this way is a lot of pressure. It's a huge amount of pressure. Because if the show stinks, if I give them an episode that stinks, then I have to do it over again. I mean, that's the deal that we have. They have a right to say, yeah, we just didn't like that one. And then I have to make another one. Yeah. So it's a lot of pressure, and also I want to keep that freedom. I knew that if 2 episodes in, if the shows were weak, they would have come. It wasn't a contractual right. It was just a verbal agreement. It remains a verbal agreement between me and John Landgraf that I have that freedom. It's not a deal that I have. I mean, that deal doesn't exist. They would never put that on paper. That would be suicide.
It sounds like it comes out of petty cash.
Yeah, it does.
Just opens up his
it
top
does.
drawer.
It's literally, my show is so cheap that the advertisers don't know what they're advertising on. That's how it's so cheap to pay for that people will advertise on it without knowing what's in it. Red Stripe beer doesn't give a shit what I'm doing. So, but I earned that right with every episode. If I start sliding downward and the show gets weak in their mind, they'll send people, and I'll have to have every script submitted to them. Everything. That's my contract says that I serve at their pleasure, and they have approval over everything. But that's not how we do it.
Just a couple other things, and we'll try to get some. We'll get some questions in from the audience. But related to that, you do so much on this show. Write, direct, edit, et cetera. So there's almost something as much as this looks like a 21st century cable comedy, kind of old-timey TV about it, but why do you kill yourself like that on this?
Well, it's just so fun. I just love it. I love it. I like writing by myself because these are all like first drafts, really. Like, I like this show to feel like it's right out of my gut or brain or balls, one of the three, without it going through a process. I can tell when I watch television that it's gone through a process, and I know the process because I've been there. But I think audiences do too, even though they don't know. They know they're being bullshitted with. They know they're watching something that has a system to it, and it's not fun because they can see it. They can see the moves now, you know? And that's because we take scripts in TV shows and we give them to a room full of really good professionals, and they perfect the scripts. But you can only, when you perfect, you take them in the same direction as everybody else. So I tend to write stuff and then leave it alone and trust the first burst idea of how the dialogue is written and everything, and I'll slash and cut it, but I don't rewrite a lot. But then I meticulously shoot it, so I'm taking something that was barely thought through, and I execute it as a director much more carefully. And I could never do that. If I had a writing staff, they would never let me do that. It would be much harder, and also would be 12 times more expensive in the writing department. And as a director, I can pay myself shit, and I think I'm worth it. So and I love it. I love going to this set every day and getting to shoot this stuff. It's so fun, and the autonomy just greases the wheels. It makes it easy. I can write pages while I'm shooting and change stuff, or
The story that you told about having the same actress play your date and your mom, I think I'd first heard that because I think you posted that in response to it was a review of one of the episodes at the AV Club.
I Google myself too much, I think. And
well, I'm kind of worried because it's sort of the flip side of that solitary auteur approach that you now exist as a creator in this world where there are a zillion opinions out there, and you can read every word that's written about you, and you actually engage with some of your critics and fans. What do you get out of that?
It's not a good idea. I shut down my Facebook and MySpace and all this stuff I used to have because I don't think it's healthy for me to have access. I'm close to shutting Twitter down because I say things I shouldn't say on Twitter too. Just because I can't. I have a bad form of Tourette's that I can't really resist. That's not nice to say because that's a real condition. But maybe I got it. I don't know. But in that case, it's really narcissistic. Sitting there Googling your name and somebody wrote a thing on a blog in Turkey about my show. I'm gonna see what he has to say. It's really gross, and I've tried to actually temper it because there was such a massive amount of stuff to read for this show, and so I had to actually say, stop doing this. This is disgusting. But I'm a comedian. I work. My whole life revolves around getting, feeling the laughs or the not laughs, or feeling it's not all that I need laughs. It's like the challenge of getting a laugh or the challenge of getting through a dry spot in a show. I'm all about the audience. So when you produce this stuff and then just let it go on the air, it's it's fascinating to see what people think of your material. And the folks that were asking questions about the two moms were intelligent. I just enjoyed the conversation. It's like I went to a party and they were talking about my show, and I was wearing a fake mustache or something over my real mustache. And they were having a conversation that was compelling to me. And I said, well, I actually know why I did it, so I'll tell them. Because I liked them. I liked the people that were talking. If somebody had written, why did that fucking faggot make two fucking different chicks his mom? What a douchebag. I would have left it alone because that's not as interesting. Although maybe I would have answered him too. I don't know. Because you dick, I wanted to.
Well, in that spirit, Should we go to the room? And I guess I have to pick people. Let's do the Georgetown shirt over. Oh, you can't see the shirt. I'm sorry. Guy Forrest back here.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for being so generous as a comedian. I think we all really appreciate it. 2 quick questions. This kind of intricately exploring your moral core in all these like horrible lapses in morality and everything, does that go all the way back to you starting as a comedian? You know, because you said you started in high school, so I was wondering if that was true. And then also, how did you get into directing, and how did you learn about directing and along the line?
Well, when I started stand-up in high school, and I didn't care about my moral core or whatever. I don't think I have one of those, but I didn't think about that. I just wanted to try to be funny. Several years of, that's why it really takes like 20 years to make a good comedian, because at least for the first 10 or 12, for the first 10 years, you're just trying to learn to be funny. So you just come up with, hey, maybe a joke about rocks would be good, and you apply your comedy knowledge to rocks, and then you try current events for a while, and those come and go, and then you're also sort of joining a chorus of hate when you do that. And so you try all this stuff, and some of it works, and then you start hating it. So after 10 years of learning how to be funny and how to just do the work of being a comedian, just like learning piano, it's like if you were learning piano on really shitty pieces, but you are getting the skill. And then you go through 5 years or so of realizing that you've wasted 10 years talking about nothing to drunks in bars, and it's too late to go back and do anything else with your life. It's a bad time. So then you have 5 years of just repeating the shit you've been doing and not knowing why, and then either you bottom out or you go right for a better comedian, or you give up or kill yourself, or something else comes in and gives you got something else that you want to talk about. So other shit came to me that I wanted to talk about. So I changed in that way. I learned how to direct. I worked for a local access cable TV station in Newton, Massachusetts, where I grew up, and I learned how to run video cameras and how to edit. I shot hockey games for my high school and stuff like that, and then I'd do little art pieces, and then I'd take the cameras home and make my own little funny videos. That's kind of where I started. And then every time I had any little bit of money from doing stand-up, I would make short films. I made short films throughout my years. The short films for me go back to, I don't know, 89 or something like that. And I go to festivals with them. It's just something I've always loved. I didn't go to film school. I didn't go to college.
On the aisle here in the red.
Hi, thank you very much for this. This is really, really valuable. I just want to know what you have to say about censorship in terms of being a stand-up. You probably had to clean up your act when you did Conan or Letterman and stuff, and you're someone whose act is not clean. How do you deal with being told all the time, you must be clean, but knowing in your bones that you're not someone who is, you're someone who... Yeah. You're someone who swears a lot, and you know that's your essence or whatever. What's your advice?
Well, it's all about the venue. Where you're working is what decides what you get to say. I never felt. I don't get why we can't all say anything we want on TV. Nobody's ever explained to me why that isn't illegal. I don't get why there's an FCC that can make those rules. I don't understand it. It doesn't jibe with what I understand about America and the First Amendment. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, they're just words, right?
What?
They're just words.
Yeah, but you want to let me finish? But when you're working for a network, the FCC rules aren't usually the challenge. It's every network has a standards and practices person. And networks that go over the air are the ones that you have to have an FCC thing. But cable, you can say whatever you want, but as far as the law, but every network has their set of rules, because it's not just, none of us have a right to be on TV. It's their channel. I mean, they set the fucking thing up. They bought a big dish, and they have a satellite. They launch satellites into space. So for them not to have the right to decide what's on it, I think is stupid. I think it's really boring to me when anybody on TV goes like, well, assholes won't let me do it. Well, it's their fucking, why can't they enjoy what they put on too? And the way they pay for all that shit is advertising. And so they have sort of every place hires somebody who's there to who just knows where they're going to get in trouble and lose money. That's all. It's money. I mean, everything has to be paid for. Anyway, when you do Conan shows like that, it's harder because it's the FCC, it's the airwaves. And it's a game, though. It's kind of fun. I had jokes improved by censorship. When I was at Conan, I did stand-up on the show, and I knew the standards guy because I was a writer. So I could actually, I did a joke about Giuliani at the time, who was the mayor of New York, and he was angry because somebody threw shit on a picture of Jesus or so. I don't know what it was. It was something where somebody made a piece of art that was, they smeared elephant shit on a picture of Jesus' mother. Don't get mad at me. Somebody did that. Somebody did that, and Giuliani shut the funding down. And he said, people pick on Catholics. That's the problem, is that everybody feels like they can pick on Catholics. And I had this joke where I said, yeah, it's true people pick on Catholics, but that's just because they're wrong about God. And it's just a brazen asshole joke. So I wanted to do it on Conan, and the standards guy said, no way. So I called him, I said, I think I should. I learned how to argue with standards people. I said, I think I have a right to say this, because he's on the news saying his half, so it's an equal time issue. And he goes, all right, but how can you say it that's not so offensive? I don't want to get phone calls. So we talked about it. He had this idea. He said, what if you sound, first of all, really sympathetic when you say, it's true, people do pick on Catholics a lot, but that's because they're wrong about God. Like he said, if you make it like a sillier turn, you show some sympathy, and then it's going to be clear you're joking when you say that. And I did it, and I got a way bigger laugh. Like it was an improvement. So, I don't know, that was a fun exercise to me. It's an intellectual exercise, the censorship sometimes. FX is very different. I don't understand how they're letting me do this shit. I don't understand it. When I handed in the God episode, that's the one I was the most worried about, because it was barely funny and it was insane. And I'd say this shit about Jesus. I mean, it's crazy. Usually Jesus and the church is the one place you can't touch on television. It's the one place where no standards person will let you fuck around. And I was worried about that episode, and I handed it in. It was one of the last ones, and nobody called me. Usually they call me right after they watch it. Nobody called. And I got really scared, because every single episode up until then, they'd call me right, and I knew they'd watched it. I knew literally they watched it on a server that I control, and I know when it's been watched. I know, I'm crazy. So I knew they watched it, and nobody called me, and then I'm waiting, and then the next day I write the one guy I have there, executive, who's very sympathetic, and I wrote him, I said, hey, did you like it? No answer. And then I called him, and he didn't call me back, and I was getting really upset. And then I got an email from him saying, you must call me this instant. And I was like, it's over. Because of Jesus. So I call him, and he said, in 20 minutes, we're going to announce that your show's picked up for a second season. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I wasn't even thinking about that or expecting it, or I really thought we were probably going to get canceled. And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, just don't tell anybody. You have 20 minutes, you have to keep it a secret. And he hung up on me. And then I called him back, and I said, wait a minute, what about the God episode? And he goes, oh, it's great. Don't touch it. It's great. It's great. No notes. We love it. So, and I did. Standards and I had some issues with the God episode, but I think she helped it too. There's a woman there, and she's brilliant. She's very smart, and her goal is to keep the show as irreverent as possible by keeping it away from any place where it's going to get it. Because if I piss off somebody enough, they're going to, it takes one person to go, and then the party's over. So, it's up to him. What am I doing?
It's on the aisle and back. Yeah, probably right next to you.
When did you know you were a good comic?
Oh, geez. He's still got the mic like he's ready with more. No, I don't know. When I first did it, I bombed really bad. I was so out of sorts. It was the worst thing that had ever happened to me the very first time I did it. And I did it a second time just because I wanted to know if it was really that bad, if it was just a bad night. And it was worse. And so that was when I was in high school. And then I didn't do it again for almost a year. And then I went to this weird offbeat place in Cambridge, Massachusetts that was just fun, weird. It was a off-the-wall cinema. It was a place where you would watch like Dada films and eat carrot cake. And they did stand-up comedy at midnight on Saturdays. So I went to the show, and it was really weird show, strange, trippy comedians. And I tried it there, and I had a really great set. That was my third time on stage, and I thought, I can do this. And then I bombed several times after that, but I didn't care, because that one set really got the hook in me. So I didn't know if I was good at it. I just thought, I have a way that this is something I could do that I enjoy. People laughed. You know, those 14 people in that club were responsible for a lot, because if I'd bombed that third time, I probably wouldn't be alive at all. I don't think I had a shot at anything else, really.
Let's see. White shirt in the center there. A couple rows back.
I was wondering if you would comment about your time with the Dana Carvey show, talk about any creative process or anecdotes that you have from that. And secondly, the way that show was handled, did that impact what you fight for with creative control, or what sort of impact that had?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that show was a really difficult time for me. It was bad. I mean, I hated it. And it's a good show, but I had a hard time. Dana was, hot coming out of SNL, and ABC gave him a show and said, we want you to be edgy and irreverent and be really out there. And then while we were starting to produce the show, ABC was bought by Disney, like literally in the middle of our pre-production. And then a whole different group of people came and said, they put Dana on the cover of TV Guide with Kermit the Frog with his arm around Kermit the Frog. And he never posed for that picture. Dana was furious to see himself, with his arm around Kermit the Frog. Like him and Kermit were at the China Club, and then somebody came over and he goes, oh yeah. And that was it. The show had such a, it was everything we did made somebody mad. But I did learn from that. One thing I learned was that there wasn't any need for us to be on. We were on primetime television. The show was like at 9 o'clock at night on ABC. It was just a mistake. Those people didn't want to see us. And I read letters, like handwritten letters by people. There was no email then. You got handwritten letters from old ladies saying, you hurt my feelings. And, I learned from that kind of like, you got to go where you're wanted, So I'm on FX, and it's, I remember when I was trying to find what the line was on FX, I was watching The Shield, and there is a scene where a woman has been raped and murdered, and somebody says, oh, and he ejaculated on her stomach. And then they zoom in to a pool of jizz on a dead lady's stomach. And a friend of mine, Vernon Chapman, who's a great comedy guy, he said you should, because we're not allowed to show boobs on the show, he said you should have a shot of a woman who's naked and cover her boobs with the jizz on the stomach of a dead lady. Like, this is okay. Beautiful, life-giving breasts are not okay. The mother's milk, gorgeous. Michelangelo made us cry when he painted them. Not okay. Jizz on the stomach of a dead woman. Totally. Why are you even asking? So when I should be on a network that lets you do that. This show should never be on anywhere else. If I got some weird call from an NBC saying we want it, I'd say, no, you're fucking wrong. People who watch your network don't want this. It's not fair to them. So I kind of learned that from Dana Carvey. That was a hard show to work on, though. It was just a lot of hours. I was there all night, every night. I cried like a lot on that show. Like I wept like a baby from exhaustion and just pressure. It was hard. And I was in my 20s. I was like 25 years old. So it was a lot, and I was the head writer. It was a lot of pressure. I'm glad I did it. It's a huge education.
It's a young lady on the aisle here.
There you go.
Are the scenes with the other comics improvised, or is it totally scripted, like with Nick DiPaolo?
The poker scene was scripted. As far as once we start really talking about gay sex and asking those questions, and also the thing of all the stuff, most of the stuff of me talking about packing dicks into his mother's ass it's about a half scripted, a half. But once we shot the scene it was a really long day because we shot the scene once like scripted, and then I gave everybody a shot at screwing around and improvising, and then we all started getting a little punchy, and everybody started saying funny shit about wearing flip-flops and stuff, and then we kept shooting to get that, and then everyone was so warmed up that I was like, guys, can I just have the scene as written all over again on everybody's close-up, and they were like, fuck, and I made them do that. Everybody's happy because the scene came out good, but it was a lot. It was both. We kept shifting from scripted to some improvised. I don't usually do much improvising in this show because we shoot it like cinema. We shoot it, with a lot of coverage, and we pick lenses carefully. So it's a kind of, if you improvise once, you kind of have to. But this scene ended up cutting together nicely because we didn't follow the script, and the camera kept kind of going around in this spiral circle. That's kind of the way we shot it, in this weird spiral. And I liked that we could catch sometimes in the middle of a move, and some of the dialogue is clipped. I liked that. So that's how we did that one.
Stripes in front here.
In your mind, do you have a filter between topically, like what is good for stand-up and what is good for the show? Are there things in the show, topics or scenes that you would want to do stand-up but just don't work, or how do you differentiate for yourself?
Well, that's one thing I love about doing this show is that it all comes from the same place. Like, I kind of think of every episode as a stand-up set, and some things are said with my face and some are said with a lot of people's faces. And the subjects cling together about as much as they do on stage, that I'll talk about something and sometimes I'll talk about something else tangentially, or I'll just suddenly just change the subject because I feel like it. So the show does that sometimes. Sometimes it's following a line, and sometimes it just goes, anyway, you get it, here's this now. But it's a great, for me it's great because every time I have an idea of an area to do on the show, I can just make that choice. If it's not coming together as stand-up material, oh, well, maybe I should be showing this. So it's kind of 50-50. I mean, it's whatever. It depends on the subject. The gay thing, the poker thing, that was a real conversation I had with that comedian years ago. And I thought I should tell that story on stage. But then I thought, I'm not going to stand there and tell that story. It was his story, and I actually got him to, that's the real guy. He's just a comedian from here in New York. So that was one thing where I thought about it on stage first and then thought I'd shoot it.
All right, we got time for one more, I think. I hate this godlike power. Sorry, everybody. Right in the center.
Nobody over there asked anything. I mean, and they want to.
All right, right next to you there.
Hi. Oh, my voice is horrible in this. I'm a film production student, and I actually wrote a script and based it off you and your show, and because I like your tone, and what is the best advice you can give for like a student and like attitude when you're doing that? Because you kind of say a big F you to a lot of people, and I like that.
You mean
I like attitude when you're
what attitude?
when you're in the production, which you've done it all, and what's the best attitude to really give?
The best attitude in production is really really wanting to help a lot, really wanting to help whoever's show it is. Be really great. I think that's anybody who's doing any job, really, should want that job to be done really well. I mean, this is a simple answer, but it's really true.
Yeah.
There's one person really usually that has an idea of how to do something, and everybody else should really want. I mean, it's such a rare and great gift to get a job in show business. It's very, very. It's not. You're not going to get one. I mean, statistically, you're not. So, you know, it's like when unemployment is like at 2%, they say it's full employment. Like that's how low your odds are. That statistically, you're not going to get a job that you really want in show business. So if you do, holy shit.
What if I was
and the way I would approach it is I want to do everything I can to make myself valuable to these people. That's when you do it, when you're in production and you just see somebody kicking ass and wanting what they do to go well, you just never forget them. I mean, I have people I've kept around for years and years, and I just beg. There's people that don't want to do this shit anymore, and I beg them to stay on for me. That my DP, Paul Kessner, is a genius, but he wants to be on a boat all the time. He has a fucking boat, and he takes it to the Bahamas and shit. And so every time when we got season 2, he's the only one who didn't want to hear it. I'm like, we got picked up, and he's like, I'm like, please get off the fucking boat. Because he's so eager to make what I see in my head real. So that's the way, all the way up to the very closest person. And then actually when you're the person who's running the thing, which is definitely not going to happen to you. I'm just trying to impress upon you how, if you get there, how rare that chance is going to be, and how important it is to seize it. If you get to be the person who gets to run the thing, then you have to kind of turn the same attitude on them, that you have to enable all those people to do their jobs. And I'm just the directorial department. I'm also the writing department and the editorial department, and the lead actor. But I just run those parts of the show. Everybody else has to. I have to know what they do. I know what everybody does because I was an intern. I mean, I carried camera cases. I did everything, and I hung lights in studios. So I know everything that goes on. So I know what I'm asking people to do. I know what I'm asking them to take on. I think it's arrogant to think that you can just force your will on a crew of people. You've got to be a human being if you're a director or if you're a sound person. When I was shooting Pootie Tang, there was a young chick who was we had a boom operator. It was this young student who came on for one day. And we're all ready to shoot this really intricate shot, and she didn't like how she had the boom, so she just went, "Wait a minute, I'm not ready." And everyone was like, what the fuck was that? Because she was being belligerent and shitty. And so the person who we replaced her with was a real human being. They treated us like human beings. Everybody just wants to be treated decently. Life's too short to be an asshole as an employer or an employee. So if everybody likes the work and everybody wants the show to be as good as possible and everybody treats each other with respect, the show's going to be. And we have so much fun on this show because we don't have anybody on the set who everyone goes, "Oh, Jesus." I mean, it may be me. And then there's only one then, so, you know. The only question I want to answer, because everybody asks it, is about the middle finger during the opening credits. I know somebody here wants to ask it, so I'm going to answer it. During the opening credits of the show, some guy flips off the camera. It was a young NYU-looking kid, spiky hair, and just real contrary, and he was walking with some real, yeah, fuck everything type. I mean, I was eating the pizza and I saw them and I already thought, Jesus. And they walked by and they were like, because they saw a camera and they saw people making a sincere effort at something, it was like, just offensive to them. So one of them went, yeah, and he flipped off the camera. And I remember that moment very well because I was eating the pizza and I watched him flip off the camera and I could tell by the angle that we caught it. And I thought, that's it. When that happened, I knew we were going to be on TV. Because that was when we were shooting the pilot, and it was a test to see if we could get it. But for some reason, I remember seeing that and thinking, that's just meant to be, that's going to be in the opening credits. It'll be fuzzy, because I fucking know how the camera works. It's going to be a little fuzzy, because it's out of the depth of field, and people are going to see it. I just knew that was just a sign to me. that we would get to be on TV.
So there is a God.
There is a God. He gave me the finger.